Smiling. There we are. We are live. I did it. Hi. Oh my goodness. And you're going to be with me the whole time. I didn't even bring you in
Yes.
after. It's just
Nope.
Lonnie and Savvy show now. Well, welcome everyone to the Caring Caregiver Show. Aloha. I'm your host, Savvy, the founder of Give Me a Break. And Give Me a Break, of course, is a nonprofit organization, and we are caring for caregivers. We are on a mission to bring back the joy of caregiving. And each week, we help you caregivers to survive. Yes, I said survive. And you know, I talk about this all the time because we are at risk. Caregivers are an at risk group, you guys. This is no longer a joking matter. It is, we are at risk. And so we need to survive caregiving and find joy in it. And we don't want to just survive, but we want to, as Lonnie always reminds me, we want to thrive. So you can check out our website and get more information. Go to, let me just, there it is. See, look at that. Look at that, Lonnie. I did it. Aren't you proud of me? You can check out our website right there, gab808.org, or just, text us, drop us a text at 808-754-3787, and we'll get back to you. And you can get more information because, doggone it, you're just frustrated and tired and exhausted, and you shouldn't be. So we do offer you a break right away every week at our support sessions, and they are free and online. So super convenient, super affordable. Just join us every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. That's Hawaii Standard Time for those of you who join in from the continental U.S. and other parts of the world. It is Hawaii Standard Time, 8 p.m. So make sure you make that adjustment, but please join us. We're just really a community of caregivers, and we're there to support one another. So every caregiver out there, get on our sessions. This is not, that formalized, hi, I'm Savvy, I'm in a support group kind of thing. It's really just a community in your safe space, and that's what it's here for. Anyway, also, and I know I'm sorry, I'm getting through all of this, and I didn't even realize I had poor Lonnie sitting there, but I'm so close. I have one thing that just pop up here on the screen. Let's see how that works with you and I on it. Oh, look at that.
All right.
I know, isn't that awesome? So let's see what it does when I do this. Oh, I don't like that. I like this. All right. So please make sure that you help support what we do. We do not have grants. We do not have fundings with Give Me a Break. We are hoping for, we get sponsors every now and then. We have some wonderful sponsors who help us through some of our events, but we're really dependent on donations from you. So you can become a monthly giver. It's $10 a month, you guys, and you help support what we do for caregivers, and so we can continue to do what we do. And the value to the caregiver is phenomenal. But the value to you, of course, is that you do get some perks here. You get some little wellness gifts throughout the year, and you get a subscription to the Giver's Guides magazine, which, of course, we will talk a little bit more about later in the show. So with all of that said, aloha and welcome to my co-host today, my sister from another mister, and my good friend, Lonnie Almanza with Alakai Associates, and of course, the COO of Give Me a Break and the editor of Giver's Guides. Welcome, Lonnie.
Well, thank you. Yeah,
She's
that's
like,
a
shut
lot
up,
that
Sammy.
you have lovingly coerced me into doing, but all for a great
Always.
cause.
Yeah.
And we want to let you know that the Caring Caregiver Show is sponsored by Giver's Guides online magazine, written exclusively for caregivers from a caregiver's point of view. And this month's issue is celebrating all the men who are caregivers: sons, grandsons, spouses, dads. Males are now 40% of the caregiving force out there, and June is also Men's Health Awareness Month. So this issue is dedicated to our men and chock full of great ideas for male caregivers to keep health and prioritize your wellness. And as Savvy said, I'm one of the editors and also contributing authors there. And one of the things I wanted to point out is that one of the key factors that research has shown in staying healthy is to keep positive relationships, and that interpersonal relationships, as well as the relationships with our environment and everything around us. So oftentimes caregivers, especially men, can get isolated. And so we want to make sure that you are joining a community of caregivers, cultivating those relationships. And then, of course, the basic healthy tips to, stay active, get your regular medical checkups, stay hydrated, eat healthy, all the things that we are supposed to do, that we know we're supposed to do, and oftentimes in caregiving get pushed to the side.
Yeah, yeah. And it's totally true. And we have a good amount of guys on our support session as well. And it's sometimes it's hard for them because it's hard to reach out, and they're a little shyer. Some of them are caring for their moms, which is really difficult.
Yeah.
For a son to care for the mom. So, caregiving's hard enough. We have to throw in some other obstacles. And so we really it's really all about Men's Health Month. And so we really dedicated this issue to the guys. And so, gosh, get a subscription and know that all the profits are going to go to Give Me a Break. So, no one's making money off of this. No one's on salaries. We're all volunteers. We don't get paid to do this. It's really just to keep supporting and doing what we do. Yeah, I think did I jump into yours? No. So
nope, you're good.
I didn't look at that. How about that? So there's even an article, in there about skincare tips for guys using essential oils, which I really love. And it's more of a natural way, guys, for you to be able to take care of yourself. And more now, I love that there's actually products out there that are specifically designed for for the male hormonal system, right? And so regardless of what you identify as, if your hormonal system is geared to what is it, the XY chromosome and the XX chromosome, then, those products are geared to that chemically. So it's great to have that now, and that you can still care for your skin and yourself. And you really do need self-care. That's really what we're all about. All right. Well, today is June 21st. Wow. This month is flying.
Yeah. Summer solstice.
Yes. It's National Daylight Appreciation Day. So, gosh, get out there and get a little daylight, you guys. Get a little sun. You sometimes, in the darkness of caregiving, you don't even look out the window, right? You don't even see that sun. So look out the window, take in a moment of sun, go step outside your door, on your lanai, whatever it is, and just breathe and take in some of that sunlight today. And of course, if you're going to have an extended stay, please use a environmentally safe sunscreen because we're all about making sure that you stay well, but just soak it up. And I'll tell you what, if you're going to do that, let's get together. For those of you who are watching live, and for those of you even in podcast later, go ahead and go hashtag Give Me a Break 808 and post your sunny smile today, and we'll check it out. So do a post, hashtag us, Give Me a Break 808, and we'll see those pics, and just share it with the community of you getting a little bit of sunshine today, that being the National Daylight Appreciation Day, and show that appreciation. It's also Alzheimer's and dementia-related disease recognition all month. It's they have the longest day I think kicked off the first
today.
of this month, or is it today?
Today, with the solstice.
Yes, and Lonnie and I relate to it so much because both of our moms, and more recently, Lonnie's mom just passed, and my heart to you, of course, you know that. And my mom is currently in the final stage of dementia in hospice care. So we can relate to all of these dementia and Alzheimer's related, all these brain related diseases, and they're just horrible. But, go to the Alzheimer's organization, alz.org, and see how you can make a difference to create awareness. Because there's really a lot you can do, and there's a lot going on right now that you can do to participate. And if you need more information, just email us at info@gab.org. Also, there's a study right now that you can participate in, and you could receive $100 for doing the study. So, if you're dealing with somebody if you are loving, supporting, and caring for someone who's going through a brain-related disease like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementias, all of these dementias, maybe even from stroke, please contact us, and I'll connect you to this research study that's going on, because all the research we can do now is going to make a difference. All the research they've been doing has now gotten us to the point where they're going to be releasing very soon some drugs that will help. And they may not help my mom, for instance, but it could help me. It could help you. And, you know, I'm going to be a third generation dementia. Third generation dementia. My grandmother passed from dementia. My mother is now have it. And so, you know, I need to, I want this drug to pass. I want to be in the trial, you know, and we're doing everything we can to create wellness so that we can do that. Right. So anyway, all of these things out there, have that information, contact us. I'll connect you with that information. And so without further ado, Lonnie, let's go to our first guest today, shall we?
We shall. So Leanne was born and raised in Honolulu and has spent the last 20 years building her business as a financial planner and employee benefits consultant. She's built businesses from the ground up as she dealt with a loss of her dad, coordinating care and finances for her mother, and giving birth and raising a son with special needs. As Leanne believes that inspiration is not only about success, but being inspired can come from having perseverance to overcome obstacles. And in her book, Hope Inspires Strength, Leanne shares the hardships she felt losing her father at an early age and how that impacted her. Also, the difficulties of being a caregiver and how that experience and responsibility can impact people. So let's welcome Leanne Chong and tell us your caregiver story.
Hello, Leanne. Wonderful to meet you and to have you on the show. Thank you so much. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. I would say I'm a little emotional this week just because my mom has come back into the picture a lot more with the caregiving and the care at her nursing home. But anyway, so
yeah, breathe. We'll all take a deep breath right now together. Just
we get it.
Deep breath. Yeah. Give yourself a hug, and
we all know we get emotional with these things. So it's like all of a sudden you just start crying all of a sudden, and it can be overwhelming. But for me, you know, I felt after my dad passed away, I was in my mid-20s. He was my rock. He was my everything. And I thought, you know, it's okay. A lot of people lose their parents, some even younger. So, you know, I can deal with this. I can get over it. I had just started a new career. Felt a little lost, but was just determined I'm going to make it. And had my daughter a few years later, and just shortly after that, my mom started losing all her mobility. Started with raising her arm. She went to the Mayo Clinic for treatment. That didn't reverse anything. And within a couple of years, she was bedridden. So all her nerves, all her muscles, completely bedridden from the neck down. So head up worked, nothing else worked. So in the interim, driving her around, doing, you know, all the basic custodial care things that you would do, handling all of her finances. Until one day in 2011, she got aspiration pneumonia, and it was actually at her dad's funeral that I had to take her to the hospital. And when she was being treated, they laid her flat, it blocked her airway, she coded blue, and then they intubated her, and they told her at that point, trach or hospice, because she was so malnourished, down to 64 pounds.
Wow.
And from there, her life was never the same. She never went home. I hired 24-hour care in the hospital. I then had to get her into a nursing home that she's been in since 2011. And I've coordinated even in-home care in the nursing home, in the hospitals, done all her finances. Meanwhile, trying to build a second career as a financial advisor, trying to have my second child through miscarriages, failed tests. And so I did that. I somehow persevered and started to build my second career. What I didn't anticipate happening till it happened was my son was born in January, the end of January 2012. And to our surprise, my son was born with a chromosome abnormality. We had no idea my whole pregnancy that anything was wrong. And that led to a whole nother bit of obstacles that we had to deal with, because with chromosome abnormalities, there's really no answers. And so dealing with different doctors and dealing with different things was tough, learning that we wouldn't know. And it was really wait and see. So, you know, my son, basically, he's 11 and a half now. He's blind. He's autistic. He has cerebral palsy. He can't walk, talk, or see. So he's completely dependent in diapers. I puree his food. He silent aspirates when he eats. We even had to pull out all his teeth when he was 4 years old because they were all decayed from throwing up from aspirating. Something again we had no clue was going on. And so, you know, it's been very challenging for all you caregivers. You know, it's a matter of like at any given time, how many balls can you juggle?
Yeah.
And which ball do you pick up at once? Because you feel like you're going to drop them all sometimes. And then sometimes you have to grab the one that's the most urgent. In the meanwhile, you have to decide that it's okay and you can take care of yourself. And then you have to be mindful of making sure you actually take care of yourself and pay attention each day, because some days you're just on autopilot, just
Yeah.
trying to survive.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've
Yeah.
been through so much of that over the years. And so, you know, I felt like, gosh, you know, there's too many of us around. My main motivation for writing my book was actually to talk about what I did for my mom and caregiving and being in that sandwich generation. Because honestly, when I thought about writing a book, it scared me to death. I thought, well, I'm not that important. You know, it's not that big of a deal. There's a lot of people going through just as much hardship or more, and I'm not that successful that people actually want to listen to me. So I'll wait till I'm a lot older and prove myself. But the
But
reality
your story inspires, and being able to, this is something, you know, that we do as well. We do these tell your story seminars, Lonnie and I, to help caregivers to understand how important your story is, to help connect all of us, because your story is, you're telling my story. I'm listening to you and you're telling the same story that I have when my mom became non-ambulatory, and you know, the same thing, right? I hired people to come in. I lost my career. I had to reinvent myself. And yes, I hear you and I see you, and definitely something. It's so funny whenever I have a guest on the show, the first thing we ask is to share your caregiving story. But your book is your caregiving story. And your book tells that story in a way that people can be inspired and can have hope and can be given strength, because it is all of our story that you're telling. And being able to know that you're not alone, and that there's somebody who's gone through it and understands what that's like, because we're all still healing, right? And so you sharing your story and writing a book is important, and it makes a big difference. And I'm going to tell you that it's made a difference to one person right now, right here, that I can tell you for myself. So it is important, and knowing what you're going through and what you're doing, and especially with your child and your son, and how life can so change in just, I always say, you go from calm to chaos in a moment. And that's really what it is. And then once you're in chaos, it goes from one chaos to another chaos to another chaos. And how do you find those mindful moments, right?
Yeah, that's definitely the lesson that I learned in my caregiving journey, is the lesson of self-care, and that I couldn't be around for anybody, to care for anybody, if I wasn't caring for myself. That your health can take a nosedive pretty quickly when you're in that intense caregiving. And so you really do have to pay attention. And as a author, soon to be published myself, I can tell you that I was also scared to death. Like, who wants to hear my story?
Right.
But what I've learned is that we all may have similar stories, but we each have our own voice in which to tell that story. And your story is going to connect with so many people.
So many, yes. And it's part of that healing process that we all need. You know, I tell my story every week, right? So that's my healing process. I'm in snippets. And, you know, I haven't written a book. I think that my book is Give Me a Break.
Yeah.
And every week on the show, and every week in our sessions, when our caregivers share their moments, becomes that story. So your courage in sharing your story and being able to be vulnerable is so important, Leanne.
So I have a question. What made you choose Hope Inspires Strength as your title? Because for me, one of the things I learned in my journey is that hope is a verb. It's not just an ephemeral, magical word. It actually has action. So what made you choose that title?
Thank you for asking that question. For me, inspiration has always been my word. There's so many things I link back in my life to like winning most inspirational athlete in high school. It's just been my word. And so I knew I wanted inspire in the title, but they always tell you like it shouldn't be that long. You can have a subtitle and et cetera, et cetera. So I thought, okay, well, what else would I put in my title? And it just took me forever to decide. One thing that happened as I was reading my drafts was I never realized how much I used the word hope. I constantly talked about hope. And that's when I made that connection that hope is really what got me through everything. You need that hope. And it really is just the most powerful word. And just as I thought of, okay, well, hope inspires, then I thought, well, the other thing that people have told me over the years, besides you're so inspiring, is you're so strong. And I was like, I'm not strong naturally. I don't think I am. I think you make yourself strong by giving yourself things like hope, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my gosh, that's such a perfect title to flow together. That hope is what inspires your strength, or your strength is inspired by hope. They're just interconnected.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, I just love that you put yourself out there and that you're sharing that. I'm putting your book up on the screen right now for those of you who may be watching or see this later on one of our platforms. There's the book. I love the cover. Hope inspires strength, and you kind of hit some of my favorite things. Just right there in that book. This, first of all, I'm Asian, so just the simplicity of that cover. But my favorite color is green, and I love butterflies. So you guys really need to get the book, read the book, and find that strength, and know too that you're helping support another caregiver whose mission and whose mission in life may not necessarily be to caregive, but it might be to inspire. And that you have that hope to inspire us, but also know that you're helping her to get through what she's got to get through in life, and a caregiving journey that isn't going to end right away or for a long time. You've got a lifelong caregiving journey here, and so you can inspire her as well. And so that's what community is all about, you guys. That's why we do this. And that's why we're here to connect community. You now have a caregiver friend in Leanne, and knowing that she's going through the same journey and in more ways than I've had to. But we know that your strength is one that's making an impact on me today. So thank you so much. Thank you, Leanne, for sharing your story and for sharing yourself and for being part of our community. So thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Leanne. I look forward to connecting with you in our caregiving journees.
Yes, we definitely will be back in touch with you. So thank you so much. And we appreciate your time today, knowing your time is precious. Thanks, Leanne. Aloha.
Aloha.
Wow.
Ooh, what a story.
I'm a little choked up, Lottie. I need a minute here.
Well, wow. I will give you a minute because since today's the summer solstice and we have the longest day, the most sunshine, and you said it's the National Daylight Appreciation, it's a perfect segue to talk about our Shine a Light walk.
There it is.
Yes, coming up on July 22nd, right?
Yes,
July 22nd.
Next month.
It's next month. Month away. We're just a month away.
Just a month away. It's the third Saturday in July, you guys. Super excited. Look at that. And you know what? There are a couple of pictures in there from last year's walk as well. Everyone had their glow sticks. We were glowed out, and this is the greatest walk in the world because it's indoors.
Air conditioned.
In
the middle of summer.
In the middle of summer, air conditioned, so it's safe. It's indoors. And we just kind of walk around the mall. There's some challenges that you'll do, some selfie ops, and just some fun community to hang with. We'll have live music and giveaways. What a great way to spend a Saturday evening during the summer.
Yeah. And there's lots of places to get dinner. So, come enjoy the walk, have dinner. You can even make a full night of it. And after you're finished walking and eating, go see a movie.
Yeah.
But all of the donors that participate will be helping us to continue the mission of Give Me a Break.
Yeah. And so there's just a small registration fee, but you're going to get a great little gift. And of course, you get that reflective backpack for your number, and we put your number on it for the walk. But also, the first 100 to register are going to get a free glow stick. So you're going to get a free glow stick, and you're going to get glowing. And so join us and register. Don't wait. Do it now. Get signed up. Mark the date in your calendar. We'd just love to have you there.
Well, and it's not just being there in person. You can also do it virtually from wherever you are on the globe, on this planet. Yeah. You could join us in the mission to support Give Me a Break and caregivers around the world. We want to get the message to caregivers everywhere. So, do a virtual team, do a virtual walk wherever you are, and talk about caregivers in your community.
I love that. That's a great share. Thank you, Lonnie, for that. And so, again, just come on and join us. Get glowing. It'll be a lot of fun. We need these social moments. We were just talking about social wellness last night in our support session. And, we're going through the whole wellness wheel, and social wellness was something we discussed. And we really talked about how you need to connect. But that social wellness, by the way, though, everyone starts with you. It starts with you, and it starts with you nourishing your own soul. And really, we think about the fact that, yes, we need people around us in community, but it really starts with you. And you have to first allow yourself to be able to accept that it's okay to step out, to be social, to make someone smile, to make yourself smile, to recognize your positive qualities. So it was a really great session. And again, every Tuesday night, you guys join us for that. And I am so excited about our walk this year. Also, by the way, I know a lot of people who do our walk just for an excuse to go shopping.
Yes.
Yeah. So why not?
Why not?
I'm going to support a charity.
And here's the thing. Yeah. And for anybody that is joining us and has that shopping tendency, I believe Target will be open by then.
I think so. It is going to be open. I was kind of saving that one too. I wasn't sure if I confirmed it yet, but hey, why not? Why? I thought you went to a walk and you come home with all these bags, but why not? It's in a mall. That's the greatest part of the walk, and we want to have some fun as caregivers because you deserve that. You deserve a moment away. So make arrangements to do that and be there. And if you can't, then do it virtually. Walk in place. Why not? And join us. We'll be streaming some of it live that evening. And so you'll be able to know that you're in a community of caregivers. All right. Woo. On with the show. Our next guest, saw a need in her community and founded her own health center. Literally, she's so passionate about educating people on how to heal naturally, and a seasoned practitioner herself with over 23 years of health and wellness, and a Master of Science in traditional Chinese medicine, a Bachelor of Science in kinesiology. I love kinesiology, you guys. If you don't know what that is, it's really about the study of human movement. And she's a holistic health counseling. She also has a Bachelor of Science in holistic health counseling, colon hydrotherapy, massage therapy, and of course, various other energy healing modalities. Oh my goodness. This person we met has the most incredible soul. And we're so excited to have you on the show today. Please welcome Jennifer Yao, the CEO and founder of Isis Community Health. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me today.
So tell us your caregiving story.
Well, personally, last year, my dad ended up with heart surgery last year. He had been dealing with heart stuff for a while. And, I didn't know how bad his health was until last year. I saw his health history and everything. I did not know that he had kidney failure stage 3 and all of that. Wow. Yeah. And then it turned out his heart started to fail. And so he ended up in an emergency surgery. And that was really, really tough. It was so emotionally, mentally, physically draining. And I'm so grateful that he's still here with us. But during that time, it was like, wow, am I going to lose my dad? You know, all this stuff. You know, you have the fear and the worry and the pensiveness, and then also, you know, the grieving that happens along with it, right? It's like, yeah, it was definitely very draining because I had to take off time to be with him after surgery, at work, at the hospital, and to make sure that he was taken care of and all of that.
So you will understand what it's like to go through when your life just kind of changes in a moment.
Yeah. And I've had many clients that are caretakers, and I can, you know, just the long-term effects is just, wow. You know, the stress really affects the person
Yes.
in a very bad way.
And I also want to share that Jennifer's heart was so kind to, we do our pamper sessions, those of you who don't know about our pamper sessions, and we do group pamper sessions for caregivers where we do meditation, a massage, aromatherapy, and just really give caregivers a moment to kind of get back in touch with themselves. And Jennifer was so kind to volunteer at our last pamper session. We had about 20 or 30 people, I think. Yeah. And you had such an impact that even Maka, you know, my Maka is going, that's what Jennifer said. I have to breathe from down here. I have to breathe deep down. And so the impact continues on of your kindness to help so many that day. So, you know, I had to have you on the show to talk about what you do, because what you do is so impactful.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure. And I, you know, it was surprising and not surprising to see, you know, just how many people couldn't breathe correctly, you know. Oftentimes when
no one teaches you how, right? You just kind of come out of the womb and go, and that's it.
We're just doing the stress, the shallow breathing is up here. And, you know, if we continue to breathe like that, it just kind of sends a signal to the body that we're stressed at all times. And so if we're in fight or flight, then we're not digesting properly. We're not sleeping. We're not, you know, we're in that perpetual state of stress, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what we do if we don't take time out to actually tune into how our body is doing, how we are doing mentally, because a lot of how we are doing mentally affects our body.
Yeah, I love that. I've actually had caregivers who I say, okay, you just need to breathe. Let's breathe. I am breathing.
Yeah.
I am breathing. I breathe all the time. I know how to breathe.
Yeah. Where a lot of us aren't aware that, like, you know, because I come from my training comes from an energetic perspective, you know. It's not just our tight muscles or organs that are not working, but a lot of it is energetic function. Our body has these meridians and energy centers, and a lot of the driving force of the imbalance is from the stress. Our stress, our mental states, our beliefs actually cause this cycle, this physiological cycle that happens in the body. And then it creates like a pain pattern.
Yeah.
Or and if we don't check it, it becomes illness. You know. And
exactly.
We really need to slow down. Give ourselves at least 30 minutes a day, just to check in with ourselves. You know, put it on the calendar. This is, even if it's lunchtime. You know.
Yeah.
A break or something. It's so important to take care of ourselves on a daily.
Yeah, I think it's important to get people to understand to interrupt those cycles of stress. Mm-hmm. That's where that deep breathing and really getting the oxygen to your brain and the rest of your body systems to sort of rest and reset. And it doesn't take a lot of time. It just takes that awareness of the right set of skills to do it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. And also being aware of our mental states, you know, our beliefs, our feelings, you know, around things, just because a lot of that can create the stress in the body. And so we have to go back and kind of like unlearn a negative pattern and
Oh,
really
and
look
I'm glad
at
you said that. You know, I was just having a discussion about this because we train our brains
yeah,
to literally start killing ourselves,
yeah, yeah,
to just start tearing down the body. We train our brains to go to flight or fight, right? We train our brains to be stressful.
yeah,
And it's really funny for those of you who maybe are like, I'm a technical nut. And, you know, AI is becoming a big thing right now. It's a big discussion everyone's having about AI. And so, of course, I had to start, you know, get the latest app. And you have to work with the app in the beginning because you have to teach it. It has to learn. And you have to train it to learn what you want it to learn. And then AI takes over. And it's so much like our bodies. Am I right here? Because our bodies are the same thing. We almost have to teach it and
yeah.
it has to learn, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
in a way, it is because if you think about it, since we're little, we learn from our parents. We learn our habits. We learn how to walk. Our temperaments, or you know, we just become a certain way because of our environment, right?
Yeah.
We could be, and so it becomes an ingrained thing in our mind. Like by the age of 7, we've already internalized our environment.
Yeah.
And so we're a lot of times it's just like when we drive and when we walk, and it's just like autopilot, you know. It's like a subconscious, unconscious,
Yeah.
Even breathing, right?
and until we kind of bring it to the forefront and become more aware of like, oh, I do that, and I, you know, and people don't know that simply just reshifting or reframing how they look at things or feel about something can actually change their body constitution physiologically.
Yeah. And sometimes it's the smallest change. You know, people think about, oh, I have to make
Oh,
these
I don't have time for
big
that.
changes, right?
Yeah,
And it's like like you said, you've ingrained all this over time. So it's like a big ship and it's in a big groove. And so you can't just take it and turn it this way. And, you know, that's not an easy move. But if
yeah,
you make those little tiny shifts over time consistently, eventually you will see that you're on a new trajectory.
yeah. I mean, eventually, you know, every day, if you put it on your calendar to do a walk for 30 minutes every day for what, at least 21 days, you're just going to naturally want to go for your walk. You're not going to have to put it on your calendar.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like that
Yeah.
with our brains.
And you know, I want to bring out that, you know, Jennifer's passion has prompted her to build this community health center, literally in ISIS, and it's a nonprofit organization. So, you know, she's not out there trying to do this to become this, you know. Well, it'd be great if you were bigger than the Mayo Clinic, wouldn't it? Because that's really what we want. We want a community health center that's focused on holistic healing, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of course, that would be great. But you know, this was a passion for you, a passion mission, right?
Yes, I definitely, because I've always just working on people. I just realized just how many people don't know about you know, from the energetic aspect. There's a different part of you besides the muscles and the bones and the organs. And we're not cars, right? We're not. I mean, we have the analogy of a car, but we're not mechanical like that. We're a little bit more. Uh,
There is an
We're-
intuitive.
Yeah, we're a little bit more sophisticated. There's other stuff going on, and so I during the pandemic I started the nonprofit because I realized, you know what, the health system has got to change. People need to learn more about their bodies. People need to learn how to self-sustain more naturally,
Yeah.
and help themselves because we're not getting it anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so that's why I started the nonprofit. And I do offer a community clinic. Just the climate today, a lot of people are having difficulty, you know, paying stuff out of pocket or whatever. I do run a donation-based clinic on Saturdays to just to offer it up to the community if people need self-care. it's a great way. It's donation based to just
That's awesome.
yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
located out in Eva, I believe, right?
At the beach, yes.
Yeah, you're out in Eva Beach. I grew up there, but yeah, I actually moved out of Eva Beach halfway through 6th grade. So I grew up on Poahakapuna Road back in the day when there were no other houses and there was a distinction between Eva Beach and Eva, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but what a wonderful area and neighborhood, and I know that you'll be able to help and support so many people.
Yeah.
And so you guys can go check it out, isiscommunityhealth.org. Go online or call 415-816-8138. And so that's isiscommunityhealth.org or call 415-816-8138. Talk to Jennifer and get some, treat yourself, your whole self, and really make a difference, because even as a caregiver, you need to stop being in survival mode and go into thrival mode and start thriving in your caregiving so that you can accomplish your mission and purpose in life as well.
Yes.
Jennifer, thank you so much. Was there anything else you wanted to say to our audience today?
Oh, I would actually like to offer your audience a discount if they wanted to come in during the week, Monday through Saturday, for a private session. I am going to offer a discount on services, so it's 10 off.
Great,
Nice.
that's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
So, and that you're starting to freeze up, so I'm going to just repeat. But I believe she's offering you $10 off of her services coming in. Mention that you saw her on the Caring Caregiver show, and either way, I will make sure to post that for everyone later. Or if you have any questions, just contact us at GAB808 info@gab808.org. And I think there you are. You're coming back on.
Was it me that cut off?
Yeah, well, that's okay though. We just froze. You froze up for just a second. It's probably all those planes flying over from Barbara's Point.
It's new.
So
Yeah.
just repeat that
Every
one more
second.
time. Yeah.
Did you not hear me?
Yep. So just repeat it. We did, but we'll make sure to repeat it one more time.
Oh yeah. So I would like to offer your audience a $10 off discount for any sessions they would like to come in on a one-on-one basis, Monday through Saturdays. And they can
Awesome.
contact me through there, yeah. And of course, if they cannot afford any of that, I do have the donation-based clinic on Saturdays.
That's amazing that you do that.
Yeah.
That you care so much for people to do that. And you guys know that she is a caregiver herself and she gets it. And that's what we do here on the Caring Caregiver Show, is connect you with other caregivers and resources that we all need. So thank you for your time so much.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
To our caregivers, and I really appreciate it. We'll definitely be doing more things together, and we'll see you again soon. So thank you so much.
Thank
Aloha.
you. Aloha. Thank you.
Aloha.
Bye.
Great. So wow, what an amazing. That's a couple of amazing people we had on the show today.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Jennifer, for sharing your story and the healing that you give. So reminder again, get connected at our weekly online support sessions, you guys, Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. And just know that, you can go on to jb808.org to be able to get onto our sessions. There's a button to click right there, and you can do it. So just come on to our sessions, and this is the kind of information, resources we share as well every week on our sessions. And so, you want to hear about this, you want to get connected to it. It's going to make your caregiving journey that much easier. There we go. And where are we? Okay, so also I want to thank Leanne for coming on and for sharing your soul and your heart and kindness with us. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
I think that helped me. I had a healing moment of release today because of that myself. And also, by the way, for Jennifer, I didn't get to mention this, but I had the similar situation with my father as well. I didn't even know, that he was suffering from caregiver burnout. And when he had a stroke and passed, I didn't know. I wasn't aware of what his needs were. And I wish I had paid more attention to that or known somehow, but there's nothing you can do about that. So moving forward, creating awareness to what caregiver burnout is.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and I think it also reminds us to not be afraid to have those conversations with our family members about health and wellness and our caregiving needs and plans.
Yeah, have those conversations. Don't, and it's okay. Just know that I will tell you, every caregiver out there has caregiver burnout and has the symptoms. It's to what degree is it affecting them right now? So get in there. If you know somebody who's caregiving, go give them your time. Give them a hug. Give them a break if you can, to let them take a moment to meditate. It'll make all the difference in the world. And so, again, our hearts to all of you for joining us today. Next week, our guests on the show, we will have Lily Chen and Robert Yu, a couple of people that I have the pleasure of meeting. They're going to talk to you about financial wellness and what's out there for some caregivers that you may not be aware is out there. So definitely join us. Really excited to have a nationally acclaimed author, Dana Steele, on. And she's going to share her book, Surviving Alzheimer's. And it's really it's really a fun book. So I'll save it for next week, but you're going to want to tune in and hear about her stories that will help you as a caregiver to cope as well. So set a reminder on your phone right now to tune in live every Wednesday at noon. And of course, you can always hear it in podcast later. The Caring Caregiver Show, which is brought to you by Give Me a Break and by Givers Guides magazine. So Givers Guides is your caregiver's guide and to resources and just to community. And know that you can listen to us again on podcast, like I said. So that's on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google. We're on all of them. iHeartRadio. We're on all of them. You can find us. Just type in and search Caring Caregiver Show, or just go to our website. Where is that? I need to put that one up. There it is. It's on the screen, caringcaregivershow.com. And of course, big aloha to you, Lonnie. Really, really appreciate you.
Well, I enjoy spending this time with you and all of our guests. And just, reminding people that there is a community supporting them. And whether it's through the podcast or the support groups or our website and events, there's something out there for everybody. And so, take a look, go to the website, explore it, click on things, open them up and see what there is for your caregiving journey. We hope to see you again next week.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And in the meantime, remember to breathe. And as Jennifer said, don't do that stress breathing. Go down deep, you guys.
Yeah.
And hoping that you find more joy in your caregiving, knowing you're not alone. And every week, right here, of course, we'll share with you on the Caring Caregiver Show. So thanks for tuning in. And please always be kind to yourself. First, nourish you and all of those who are caring. Aloha, everyone.
Aloha.
Thanks for tuning in.